I just made some really cool updates to my automated task tracker that I'm obsessed with. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use the new version of my task tracker. And if you've already seen previous versions, make sure to still stick around because this is a lot better. And this video will be in 3 parts. First, basic functions, exactly how to use the tracker. Second is the recurring tasks. And then I'll get more into the upgrades and specifics about customization. But don't worry, I'll still keep it light. So at its core, this task list is where you're going to live. Whenever you mark a task as pending, a timestamp will appear under task started. Whenever you add it to the task list to begin with, that's when the task added stamp will appear. And then whenever you mark it as done, a timestamp will appear under task completed, and it will clear entirely from your task list and move to the bottom of your done tab. Now your done tab, you have a list of every single task that you've completed over time. So if you need to go back to an old task to remind yourself what you did, or you can remember what you did super easily for performance reviews or dusting off your resume. If you're not ready to complete something right now, you can mark it as parked, and it will move from the task list to the bottom of the park tab. And then whenever you're ready to complete it again, you can mark it as ready, and it will move from the park tab to the task list. And one of the new features is it will automatically sort based off the deadline. And if multiple exist on the same deadline, it will sort by priority right there. And you can customize this priority on the recurring tasks right over here. So whatever's listed right here will be the priority that it sorts by. And at the core function, that's really it. All recurring tasks are automatically added while you sleep. And those are handled right here on the recurring tab. So you have recurring, you have the task summary right here. It will always be not started, and the priority will always be recurring. Days to complete is how many days after it's added you want to complete it. So if you want it to be added and completed in the same day, you'll put a 1. If you want it to be added, then the next day is the deadline, you'll put a 2, and so forth. If you have a website or a URL, you can put that right here and it will flow through. And the task focus is just what part of your job description this task is affiliated with. And you can put that right here. And what's brand new with this recurring configuration is now we have the position, the day, and the period. Before, we used the last added date to decide if the frequency had been long enough to add again or not. This is completely unrelated to that. Instead, we have the period, which is day, week, month, quarter, year. If you select day, then it's going to say daily based on your trigger. For week, you can say, I want it to be every Saturday of the week or every Monday of the week or so forth. Month, you can do one of two things. One, you can say, I want it to be on the specific day of the month. And if you go past, so for example, 31st, there is not 31 days every single month, so it will automatically default to the last day. Alternatively, you could put last and it will automatically default to the last day of the month. But I'm filming this on the 15th of August, so let's go ahead and put 15th. So that way this will be included inside of our recurring automation when we add it. You can also do something relative. So for example, if I want this to be month, I could say I want it to be the second Wednesday of the month. And when I do that, it will automatically calculate the next second Wednesday of the month. Since we've already passed the second Wednesday in August, it's going to automatically default to the second Wednesday in September. If I were to put the third Saturday, it will default to today's date because today is the third Saturday of August. So that's how it works. If the date is past the current date, it will default to the next month. Otherwise, it would go based off the current month. You can also change this to the quarter or the year. So for example, if I want the third Saturday of the quarter, it will automatically say what date it's going to be added to next. And really that's the gist of it. So you can select whatever day or the number date, and you can select first, second, third, fourth, and last. So if you want the last Friday of the month, you can select that and so forth. If you have day, obviously you don't need this day in position. If you have day and week, or if you have a stagnant number day for the month, you don't need a position, obviously, because those are very fixed values. So if you do put something on here, it will just ignore the position. The position is more so when it's a relative add. So it knows which Saturday in the quarter, which Saturday in the month, and so forth. Under resume date, you don't need a bunch of tasks being added while you're not there, because why would you want to? So you can simply double click on the date. And let's say we're coming back from vacation on August 31st. And you can change the format of this to however you want by simply going to 1, 2, 3 and changing the date to however you want it to be. But if I were to select this, and now if I go to automations, add recurring, you'll see this little pop-up in the calendar saying recurring tasks are paused until 8:31. So if anything is due before 8:31, it's not going to be added in real time. Instead, it will catch up on August 31st and it will add one time. So these daily triggers will add one time. This week Saturday will add one time. If you delegate it out while you're gone and you no longer need it, you can simply delete that row from the task list when it's added. But this prevents you from having a whole bunch of different repeated tasks while you're not actually there to complete them. All right, so for daily tasks, if you work on a fixed schedule, You only have to complete this once. If you work on a variable schedule, this is where this is prime. So for example, I work Monday through Friday, and I want my daily task to be added at 2 a.m. So that's where this 2 comes into play. If I want this to be added at 4 a.m., I could put 4 and so forth. Automatically, it detects that my time is in America, New York, aka the Eastern time zone. And this based off of file, if I go to settings, Eastern time zone right here. Whenever I add the triggers, I can simply select whatever days I want to add, hit add trigger. When I do that, it's going to confirm that this is my time zone. So if I'm traveling or if I'm on a VPN using a different time zone, I may not want that. So if I don't want that, I can say that's not right. Then I can use this drop down to select whatever time zone I actually want. So let's say instead of Eastern time zone in the United States, I actually want Eastern Australia. I can select that. I can say use this time zone. And it's going to create those triggers for 2 a.m. in the time zone that I selected. So it's based off of Australia Sydney time instead of Eastern New York time. Now, if I go back here, I can go to File, Settings, and you can see it's Eastern time, and it's actually Eastern Melbourne, Sydney. So everything's working exactly as I want, and the detected time zone is in Australia. But if it is correct, all you have to do is select whatever you want, click Add Trigger, and say, yes, that's correct, and then it will automatically overwrite whatever triggers are currently there with the time zone and the specific days. If you work 4 days one week, 3 days the next week, it will automatically only add the days that you're there. And that's where these daily tasks come in because it's going to go based off of whatever triggers you have selected. And that's really it for the recurring tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this resume date because I don't need it, or I could put it someday in the past and it won't be applicable anymore. And now it's designed while I sleep to be able to add those tasks. So it's waiting for me whenever I get there in the morning. If you update something on that end and you don't want to wait for the next day, you can simply click on Add Recurring in this custom menu option, and it will automatically add those recurring tasks, and it will automatically sort them by deadline and then priority. Now let's say that you want to update the deadline to a different day. You can simply double click on it and select whatever day you want. And if you edit the deadline specifically, it's going to reorder based off of that new deadline. If you edit the priority, so let's say high is actually a lower value than top, that's not going to update automatically because I did not adjust the deadline. But you can go to automations, sort by deadline and priority, and then run that manually. It will automatically sort in the corrected order. Task bundles, this is a new feature that does not exist on the prior version. So what this does is it will automatically look at all projects on the task bundles tab. And what this is for more irregular recurring tasks. So it's not something that's on a regular cadence, but you have to complete it periodically. So for example, I'm a director of revenue operations. So when I have a new hire start or leave, I have to create new users for our tools, or I have to deactivate their users for our tools. So under project options, you can put new hire, deactivate users. And this right here is actually what's going to show up under your list right here. This will automatically refresh whenever you open the file. But if you add new users and you add new tasks right here, you can click on this refresh button and then it will automatically resync based off of the new project options without having to refresh the page. So all I have to do here when it's similar to the recurring task is just put whatever the type is, task list, not started, whatever the priority is, how many days you want to complete them, website, task focus, and then you'll select whatever project option this task is correlated with. So now if I go back to my task list, I can click task bundles. I'll select new hire, for example, and it will automatically add all those tasks to my list, and it will automatically resync them to be in the correct order that I need to complete them in. And if you strategically create the names, so for example, I have user 4, I can select all 3 of these. I can go to edit, find and replace, and I'll put user 4, and I'm going to replace that with user 4 Olin Chansey, and that's my name, but we'll pretend that's a new hire. I'll click replace all, hit done, and now we have the additional context of what exactly this was for. And you don't necessarily need that because in the moment, but when you're going back on something that's completed, so for example, done. So now I can see that this is when I created the user for Olin. So it just has a little bit of a timestamp and things like that. On the done tab, it calculates whether or not you completed something on time. So if the deadline is before the task completed date, then it's overdue. If it's on or after, then it's on time. If you skip over task started, it will just be blank because there's no timestamp. So you can see right here, I went ahead and didn't put pending. I just went straight to done. So it doesn't really matter. So that's essentially the flow of the tracker. But customizing is super important because this tracker should be for you. It's not for me. You own it. It's yours. So you need to be able to cater it towards your position. And that's why I prefer my tracker compared to pre-built tools is one, you don't have to pay for a monthly subscription, but I can customize it to however I want. So I have a sync where if I make an edit on the task list page, it automatically updates the part and the done tabs. So let's say instead of task list, I want this to be ad hoc tasks, I can press enter. And now when I go to part, it automatically renames ad hoc tasks. If I go to done, it automatically renames ad hoc tasks. And if I want to change that back, I can simply write it over again. Now, if I want to insert a column to the left, I can do that. Let's say I want to do employees, and I can put an employee that I want to delegate something to. Now, when I do that, I can go ahead and click right here, go to edit column type, drop down, and I can create a drop down, or I can go to drop down from a range and I can select a specific range that contains the drop downs like we did on the recurring tab. But just for this example, I'm not going to do all of that. So let's go ahead and exit out of that and we're good there. But since I created that column on the task list, it automatically will appear on the part tab as well as the done tab. So now everything's going to be aligned. All we have to do is go to recurring and we need to add that one manually. The reason why I have these separate is because of the way that they're kind of configured to make sure that we are putting everything in the right spot that we need to put it in. So I'll just put employee. And then for task bundle, I'll insert one to the left and we'll put employee. Let's go ahead and put something right here and I'll show you why in a minute. So just like that, we're able to go ahead and put task bundles, deactivate user, and it will automatically flow through with the new configuration of the columns, and it will automatically flow through with whatever details you put on the other sheets. Whenever your market task is pending, these triggers will still know and be operational, so that timestamp appeared. And whenever a market task is done, it will move from this list, moves to the bottom of the done tab, and everything's going to be aligned exactly as we want it based off of those new values. So super customizable, and you're able to really configure it to how you want it to be. On the recurring tasks, you can click right here and sort by different priorities. So by default, the custom sort that we do is recurring, top, high, medium, low, follow-up, and unable to start. But you can reorder these into whatever you want. So let's say instead of recurring being the top, you can put top right here. You can put recurring right here. And now if I were to go back to my task list and let's have some recurrings, let's have some tops, and let's have some highs. So we have some highs. So now we have on the 15th, we have recurrings, we have tops, and so forth. So by the previous sort, we had recurring on top, and then high. Now if we go to automation, sort by deadline and priority, it's going to put top on top, and then recurring, and then high. So you can kind of customize however you want them to be, and it will go based off of whatever you put. And that's really how to use this tracker. So it's designed to be very customizable, very user-friendly. The recurring tasks make adding recurring tasks way more simple than they did before. All you have to do is select the options that you want. You'll see exactly what the next add date is. Once a task is added, it will automatically timestamp it, just so you know when the last task was added, with the exception of daily, of course. And you can really play around with it to make it your own. This is the core tracker, but I'm going to create more expanded customization videos, maybe some dashboards or charts, different things like that built off of this tracker. But if you want to copy and you haven't made one already, there's a full tutorial showing exactly how to build this from scratch on my YouTube channel. Or you can find a pre-built version at sheetsbyolin.com, where I have this template already pre-built for you, as well as a whole bunch of other templates. Let me know what you think of the upgrades, as well as if there's any features that you want to see in different videos. Let me know if you have any questions, and like and subscribe for more.